So it is so important that we do an acknowledgement of traditional lands. Royal Roads University acknowledges that the campus is located on the traditional lands of the Coast-Sepsum, Esquimalt, and Lekwungen Songhees ancestors and families. It is with gratitude that we now learn and work here, where the past, present, and future of Indigenous and non-Indigenous students, faculty, and staff come together. Welcome. So to make sure everybody's in the right room, we are going to be talking about the MA and Graduate Certificate in Tourism Management. With me today, I have Dr. Rebecca Wilson-Mah, who is the program head. I have Kathy MacRae in the room, who is associate faculty. My name is Imara Angus. I'm an education specialist. We also have a panel of students joining us today. So we have Aisha, Bello-Asemota, we have Kathy, Jerritt, and Nima Sherpa. So welcome everyone. Behind the scenes, we also have Nancy here supporting the session, and we should have some enrollment advisors on the call as well, who will be monitoring the chat. So the agenda for today, we're going to do a brief overview of the Royal Roads experience. We'll do an overview of the MATM program. We're going to hear from our guests, which is going to be my personal favorite part of the session. I love hearing from our students and our faculty. We're going to go through the application process and requirements. And as I mentioned, we welcome your questions throughout the presentation. So feel welcome to engage with us and pop them in the chat. Moving a little bit too fast here. All right. So you might recognize these images here. Hatley Castle, give me a thumbs up actually using the reactions feature if you recognize Hatley Castle from movies such as X-Men and Deadpool, because it is actually featured in those movies and it's on our campus. And then the top right, you can see our Japanese gardens. We have these beautiful gardens on campus. They're a great way to break up your day. You can wander through them any time of the year. And the bottom left is the Sherman Gen building. It's a beautiful new building, and you'll take some of your classes there if you're taking online study, or pardon me, on-campus study. And bottom right is just an ode to the fact that we have been teaching and learning online for over 25 years. Royal Roads University is also a changemaker campus. So you might be wondering what that means to be a changemaker campus. So Ashoka U Changemaker Campus designation recognizes colleges and universities across the globe that embed social innovation as one of their core values. And here at Royal Roads University, we believe in leading and empowering others to lead positive change in the world. And now I'm so pleased to invite Rebecca to speak about the program overview of the MATM.
Thank you, Imara. Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure to spend some time with you today to talk about the MA in Tourism Management. And thank you to all of those that have joined us, or perhaps you're watching this recording. Really appreciate your interest in Royal Roads and our MATM. So I'm just going to speak to you a little bit about the different options you have in terms of our delivery models. So we have our curriculum for the MA, and there are different ways that you can actually participate in our program. First of all, we have our on-campus MA program, and that program has all of our core courses are all delivered on campus, and it also includes some online electives. So it's really a little bit of a blend, but it is primarily on campus with some online course options. Our second delivery option for the MA is a fully online MA, and I'll speak to the details on all of these a little bit more later, but that's the online program. And then if you're interested in perhaps getting your feet wet and starting to take some elements of the MA, you can opt to take a graduate certificate. So you can take 3 of our courses for a graduate certificate, and that graduate certificate is then a pathway into the full MA program if you choose to do so. Next slide, thank you. So here, let's look at these 3 options in a little bit more detail. So our on-campus MA, it has 3 annual intakes. Those are in April, August, and December. So that's really nice that every 4 months there's an intake into our program. You can expect to complete your graduate degree in 18 to 20 months. There are field study components throughout the program, often embedded in the courses themselves. And when you're in the MA, there are actually 3 completion options that you get a choice of. You can elect to complete a thesis to complete your degree. You can complete a major research project, or alternatively, you can take a course completion option, which culminates in a capstone course at the end of your program. Also, we have specializations that are available in our MATM as well. Next slide. So the online option, we're going to look at that here. We've got a fully online program that is very much geared to the full-time working professional. This is a program that you can take slowly. It's certainly slower paced, flexible. You can study for this program completely at home. You can expect to finish our online MA in 26 months approximately. It has the same completion options that I mentioned previously, with the thesis, the major research project, or the course-based option. And of course, our specializations are also available. So essentially, it's a full online delivery option. Little bit about the graduate certificate. As I mentioned, it's a pathway into our MATM. You can customize your graduate certificate by choosing any 3 courses. The options for completion of a graduate certificate are online or on campus, or you can blend those. So you could take 1 course on campus and a couple online if you wished. And it ladders into our master's program. So you bring your 9 credits into the master's program. You can also transfer those credits into the Master of Arts in Interdisciplinary Studies or our Royal Roads MBA. So let's take a look at some of our courses. So you'll notice on the left of this slide, we've got our tourism core courses, and those are listed there on the left. So we have critical perspectives on global tourism, tourism leadership, transforming destinations, strategic tourism marketing, strategic planning for tourism, and research methodology. So those are the core courses that everyone takes in the MA. We also have elective courses in our MATM, and those are listed on the right. You'll see sustainable tourism management, responsible stewardship, trends and issues in hospitality, social entrepreneurship, finance for tourism and hospitality management, and our internship course. So I should mention, of course, that our MATM offers you an opportunity to take a course that is an internship. So working in the industry with the support from a faculty advisor while you're on internship. So that's a wonderful option in our program too, and something that interests many people. And of course, our students really enjoy that opportunity as well. So at this stage, we're going to take a moment to talk to welcome an instructor who's currently teaching on our program, Kathy MacRae, and also some students who are studying with us currently, to give you an opportunity to chat with them about the program. And I'm going to have a kind of conversation with them about a particular course, and then we'll have some chance for you to ask them questions with a Q&A at the end. So the previous slide showed that there was a core course. It's Critical Perspectives in Global Tourism, and that's the course that we're going to talk about. And I'm pleased to be joined by Kathy MacRae. Kathy MacRae is an associate faculty member here at Royal Roads University, and she teaches Critical Perspectives in Global Tourism. Hello, Kathy.
Hi.
Ah, there you are. Hello. Great to see you.
You too. Thank you for having me this morning.
You're very welcome. And I think we'll actually take the slides away, and then we can see ourselves a little bit more. If we there we go. That's wonderful. Thank you so much.
Perfect.
Great. Okay. So hi, Kathy. And I'm also joined by Aisha Bello-Asemota. Hello, Aisha. welcome. Thanks so much for joining us, Aisha.
Hi,
I know you're very
Rebecca.
busy with your
Hi.
studies. Thank you for
Hi.
joining us.
Thank you for having me.
And also we have Kathy Jerritt here. Hello, Kathy, welcome.
Thank you.
And I'm not sure if Nima is here. We'd love to see you, Nima. Come and join us as well.
Looks like
So-
Nancy's shaking her head.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. Okay, so welcome. So we're here to talk about critical perspectives in global tourism. And I thought I'd start by having a little chat with Kathy. Kathy, tell us a little bit about yourself. You know, you are a grad of our MA in tourism management, which is absolutely wonderful. We have, it's great to have someone who's a grad of the program who also teaches on the program. But tell us a little bit about yourself and what you bring to the course.
Well, thank you, Rebecca. And yeah, I am a grad. It's fun because just back on my wall, which usually, you know, when it's not blurred, you can see my degree. So I'm very proud of it. And I am somebody who graduated in 2016 from the MATM. And it was, as Royal Road says, it was life-changing, and it really was for me. And I'm very proud of my degree and very proud of my education. And I am so thrilled to be able to teach at Royal Roads, and especially to teach this class. This class was my favorite class when I was a student. And so to be able to teach it is like this huge honor for me. And it really speaks to who I am as a person. I love traveling, obviously, and tourism has been my love my entire adult working career. And now I am the executive director of the Commercial Bear Viewing Association, which was instrumental in closing the grizzly bear hunt here in British Columbia in 2017. And I work basically as government relations and a lobbyist for the bear viewing industry here in British Columbia. So I represent an industry of tourism and represent the interests to government and try and be the voice for the operators who take tourists bear viewing. So, and by bear viewing, I mean, yes, grizzly bears and black bears and spirit bears that are here in British Columbia. In that role, I'm also the co-chair of the Adventure Tourism Coalition. I am the vice president of the Wilderness Tourism Association. I sit on the policy committee for TIA BC, the roundtable for the Minister of Tourism, Arts, Culture, and Sport. She has a tourism advisory roundtable, as well as advising. What am I forgetting right now? Advising GoToHR. I advise GoToHR on a roundtable for a tourism framework strategy. So I wear many, many hats, as well as teaching here at Royal Roads, which is something that I love. It's one of my little passion projects that I have, and I'm thrilled to be able to be here. Thank
you so much, Kathy. Well, what a tremendous background that you bring to your course and to the students, and it'll be. I'm looking forward to learning more from Kathy and Aisha about how all of that translated into their experience in the course. But I'm going to turn now to Aisha and ask you, Aisha, to share a little bit about yourself and what brought you to the MATM program at Royal Roads University.
Okay, hi everyone. My name is Aisha, and you know, tourism has been my lifeline. You know, it has been my passion. I have over 14 years experience back home in Nigeria. I started my career in the airline. I started as a ticketing agent. And after 7 years there, I knew I wanted more, you know, so I applied for a job in a travel agency. And I was in charge of marketing, sales and marketing, and product development. And in my quest for more, I decided to, you know, start, I wanted to further my education and get a master's degree. So I was very intentional. I went online and started looking around. I stumbled onto the master's program at Royal Roads University. I went through the courses, you know, I didn't just choose any course and choose any school. I went through the courses, and I remember I also saw the course in global tourism, and what it says there online. I don't know if it's still the same thing, like, you know, it teaches you global best practices. And I knew I didn't want to be, you know, back home. I didn't want to be a local champion at home. I wanted to be an international graduate where I can make decisions and influence policymakers. So I opted for the course, and then since then it's been tremendous. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Aisha. Welcome, welcome. And Kathy, over to you. Hello, welcome to welcome to this session, and tell us a little bit about yourself and what motivated you.
Yeah, well, I've been a business owner in the industry for about 15 years and in the industry for about 20 years. So I own a catering and events company in the Comox Valley, which is about 3 hours north of Victoria. I had been looking at pursuing a master's program. I was originally going to do an MBA, my MBA, and then the pandemic hit, and it really had obviously had a massive impact on my company. And rather than shifting directions within my company, I really started to sit back and see the big shift that was happening, that was occurring, the critical turn that was occurring in the industry, and it made me rethink the approach to school. And when I saw the Master's in Tourism Management program and I read the actual breakdown of the courses, it was exactly what I was looking for. And it's been originally I was signed up to do the mixed, the combination online and on campus, and then, you know, with all the changes with the pandemic, I'm now in Victoria doing the program full time, and just even that shift has been fantastic. I'm so happy to be here. I'm so happy. I mean, I'm so happy. Aisha and I don't get to see each other anymore. We're in the same cohort, but we're in separate sections, so we don't get to see each other very much. But it's great to make physical contact with people again in this crazy world. So it's yeah, it's been a really fantastic experience so far. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Kathy. I'm sure it's certainly of interest to those listening to hear about your backgrounds and what brought you to the program, all of you. So thank you so much for sharing that. So thinking about the course itself, so critical perspectives in global tourism, you've just completed that course with Kathy. And Kathy, I'll just turn to you just to begin. You know, going into teaching this course, can you tell us a bit about your approaches to teaching? Just a couple of things maybe that are important to you when you're teaching.
Engagement, critical thinking, and that's something that I try and impart on the students from minute one, is that we are here and we're engaged together. Sure, I'm the person who's teaching it, but you are all master's level students. So you come with a host of experience and you know, an outlook and critical thinking and thoughts about everything that we're going to be talking about. So while I am leading and facilitating the conversation, absolutely, that it is definitely a two-way street that happens in my class. I really value what the students bring to the class and hope that is something that they can take away from it, because essentially they're the next generation of tourism leaders. And that's what I want them to have. I want them to have that ability to critically think and to be able to express what it is that they are learning and have within them. So it's really just highlighting and amplifying what their thoughts and thinking is at this point. Because, you know, thinking about what global tourism is in a global classroom, you know, we all do come from different parts of the world, and that is important, you know. So some of the classes, you know, Canada based, and some of it is, you know, internationally based, but everybody in the class and their perspectives is what's important to me.
Thank you very much, Kathy. And just jumping on your comment about a global classroom, I'm interested to see if Aisha or Kathy would like to share their input on that, on the global classroom. What was your experience in the classroom in this course and other courses too?
Aisha, do you want to?
Okay. It was really fun. As I know, like Kathy said, you meet people from different backgrounds, you know, different diverse orientation. And I remember there was this topic we're talking about, and I think it was on sex tourism or so.
I know exactly.
I like to today we still make jokes about it, and you know, it's really fun. It's a practical. What I like about the course for me, it's a practical course. It's not something you just you know, read from the textbook and, you know, you can't do anything with it. You know, I learned so much. It hit home. You know, there were so many topics that we spoke about that, like, I have plans already on how to, you know, use them back home. So for me, it was just the practical knowledge. It was not just a course that you just, you know, like a textbook course, you just write and then, you know, tomorrow you are thinking of how to apply it. It hit home for me. That's yeah, it really hit home. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree that I think we figured it out in class one day. There was about 30 of us in class, and I think there were 23 countries represented.
Yeah.
So you can imagine the incredible conversations and diversity of conversations and the different perspectives that were brought into our discussions was quite incredible. And then you do add age differences. I mean, we're a little bit older. It's a different, you know, it's really interesting. That's been one of the really unexpected things for me is I haven't spent a ton of time around a younger demographic that works in this industry, and it's fabulous. It's such their positivity and their energy is incredible, and it's actually helped transform my attitude a little bit. So it's been really great, and the critical perspectives class that Kathy teaches in particular, I'm so happy we started with that class. I'm so happy that was our introduction to this program, because it really set the tone for creating. One of the things that I always struggle with is how, at least in Canada, the tourism industry is often a lot overlooked. It's trivialized a little bit, and the critical perspectives class lent weight to the idea that tourism is deeply embedded in our society. And so it's a really great class, and we had great discussions. So
well, the sex tourism class will go down as one of my favorites of all time, I think. So thank you. I still talk about it and make jokes with people as well, because it was great.
Oh, that's funny. So aside from, well, I guess you get to learn about sex tourism, but why should someone take this class? Would you say, I think I've heard quite a few things from you about that it's global, it's practical, there's diversity in the classroom. You mentioned, Kathy, that tourism touches, all facets of our lives, and how embedded it is in society. So thank you so much. Any other things come to mind when you think about why, if you were recommending this course to somebody, why should they join this course? It's kind of a fun question.
For me, like I said, it was like an eye opener, and like there were some things that were actually happening, and I didn't know how to place them, how to relate to them, and the course, came with a vast knowledge of them. I remember we spoke about authenticity, commodification, and there was marketing, a little bit of marketing, and I'm very passionate about wildlife tourism as well, because I come from Africa, and this is what a majority of the countries do. And also the topic I enjoyed the most was tourism and poverty alleviation. And this is what is also part of what is informing my MRP. Is a topic that I'm going to focus on. And like I said, it hits home. It hits home. We talk a lot about the strategies. I already have ideas. I'm in a tourism organization back home, and I'm in a forum, and I'm already sharing ideas that I learned, in the class. I'm already sharing such ideas with them, and it's an eye opener for me. I really learned a lot. I want to be able to influence, apart from the classroom and apart from studying, I want to be able to, like Kathy, I want to be able to influence policymakers that you can't do this if you don't have the background information and knowledge. So the course has really, it has really helped me a lot, yeah.
Mhm.
Thank you, Aisha. And I just want to note, Aisha's going to, well, we were just chatting, right, Aisha, with your faculty advisor. So Aisha has a faculty advisor, Kelly Whitney Gould, who will be supporting Aisha as she undertakes a research project related to poverty alleviation, I understand, right, Aisha? Yeah.
Yes,
So
yes.
I'm excited for you.
Yeah.
Very interested in your work. So thank you very much. So thank you. And Kathy, over to you.
Yeah. So it's interesting what you come to this program. You come to this program with a set of objectives and a set of goals, and they shift with every day that you are exposed to different information. But one of the things that was really great about the critical perspectives class, and very specifically when we did a particular literature review, and Kathy had said specifically, focus on something that means something to you. And so it really helped for me. One of the things that I really want to work towards is developing some strategies towards the labor issues, the labor crisis not within just BC and Canada, but globally, where there's a big labor crisis going on. And that lit review has actually started to build the foundation for what I would like to become my thesis. So that's the direction that I'm going towards.
Yeah.
So in that respect, somebody had asked, I think in one of our last sessions we did like this. So I'm in the Sherman Gen building, and there's students walking by. In one of the last sessions we did like this, there was somebody that was concerned that this was going to be too hotel based, that this program was going to be too geared towards just, hotels. And I mean, listening to Aisha and listening to what Kathy's done and where the direction that I would like to go, it's so diverse that you could leave this program, you could leave the Master of Arts in Tourism Management and do a different job in a different sector, because the strategic planning, the critical perspectives, the digital marketing, all the things that we're learning are targeted to tourism, but they have such relevance broadly. So
Yeah.
it is that was something that I had heard from a couple of people, that they were, before coming into the program, they were concerned that it was going to be too hotel oriented. And Aisha, I don't feel that way at all.
No,
I feel like it's so social, there's so much more.
Yeah.
So
Thank
and
you.
one thing I have to say,
Yeah.
this is a Kathy plug, Kathy MacRae plug. It was being our first course. I mean, I haven't been to school in 25 years. This was my first step back into school. And Kathy really created an environment that was, she set you up to win,
Yeah.
and so often you're concerned that you're going to walk in and it's going to be like is this a trick? Is this, and kept super clear, she wants you to win. And that's the way Royal Roads operates. They're here to see us succeed. When we win, they win. So it's a really great program, and it's a really great school. So yeah.
And then for me too, because I like to ask a lot of questions, and I never felt I was being ignored. Everybody wants to they want to answer your question. Even if I ask 2 or 3 questions in a day, there's no you don't get any annoyance or any irritation from the instructor and all that. So it's really nice, and it's really helpful, because sometimes I have a lot of ideas. I remember Kathy was like, Aisha, just take a deep breath. Because I want to do the whole thing. I'm like, she's like, no, take a deep breath, and just take it, relax, and then focus on this and that. So there's always a clear direction, even if you're going the wrong way. Nobody wants you to fail. So yeah, so there's always a clear direction, and I'm really happy about that.
Yeah. And usable. I mean, like Aisha said, she's already using this back home.
Yeah.
Oddly, all these things have all of a sudden started manifesting where everything that we're learning is just usable. It's just, all these conversations that I'm having with our destination marketing organization in the Comox Valley and our Farmers Institute and all these things that are all of a sudden, it's like, oh, I'm using my program. Great. Yeah.
Oh, that's terrific to hear. I mean, it must be, it's always so rewarding to be applying and using knowledge that you're learning as you're going along, right? That application piece. So thank you for sharing those insights and reflections with us, everyone. Much appreciated. I'm looking at the time, and I do want to make sure that there's time for questions and answers. I think we've probably got about 5 minutes for some Q&A with those on the call. So I haven't been looking too much in the chat, so I might look for some, if there's any questions that have already been asked, but you can also take the mic and ask a question, or you can go in the chat and ask a question. But if anyone on the call has questions for our instructor, Kathy, or our students, Kathy and Aisha, please do so. Great, I see a hand up there.
Hello, my name is Karen Mitchell. So I am looking at doing the online option. I work full-time currently in tourism, and I'm looking to do the master's program. So with the online option, I just wanted to know, is the 11 courses, like, are they consecutive for 11 weeks? Or are they, like, can you take 11 courses over the course of, I don't know, 6 months or something like that, and then move on to your thesis or your capstone? Or
that's a great question. It's a little hard for me to answer honestly with the way the schedules are. I think the key is that you could take a couple of courses at the same time, or you could decide I'm going to take one course this semester and then this term, and then another course the next term, and maybe a couple of courses. So the courses are kind of running on a 4-month turnover. So every 4 months there are new courses to choose from.
okay.
And
Okay.
sorry, I can certainly look at it and contact us, and we can give you more details. But just generally speaking, for those of you on the call, the courses change every 4 months, and there's a selection of courses that you can choose every for every 4 months. But typically our students put together a plan for their full program, and they kind of map out how they see their progression being and which courses they're interested that they'd like to take. So we do ask you to kind of put a plan together up front so that you can actually see what your journey is.
Okay.
So all the there's no kind of guesswork. You kind of look at it. And having said that, there is some flexibility too. So we believe that it's helpful for students to see what their journey will look like, and to have that there. And then if there are changes, you can also request those changes, and those changes can happen to your plan forward as well, because of course life happens. We change our minds around things, and so a lot of flexibility in short in that online program.
Oh, very cool. Thank you. Yeah, I just wasn't sure how the online, because with school, like you have your classes and you go to your classes and it's very structured.
Yeah.
But just with the online program, I wasn't sure if it was like the same, or you pick like 4 courses or 5 courses in one semester and then another 5 afterwards, or how it actually works. So
right.
Thank you so much for that.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. I mean, the maximum number of courses will probably be 3 in a semester, in a 4-month period. Yes. But you essentially map your own journey through the program. Yeah.
Perfect.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your question. Thank you. Any other questions for our for me or for our students or our instructor Kathy here?
I think, Rebecca, I saw a question in the chat from Pauline. She was asking about explaining a little bit more about the capstone course and when do you need to make the decision. And I was wondering if maybe Aisha and Kathy wants to talk about it too.
Well, let's see. So, yeah, what options have you chosen, Aisha? We've learned that you've chosen the major research project, but what drew you to that decision?
Yeah, like, what I like is, at first I didn't have, you're just getting into a program, you don't know how it will end, you don't know what to expect. So I didn't choose my completion option to the very last moment. That's the truth. As in, because I wanted to see, I was trying to decide whether I should do the capstone or the MRP and all that. But I decided to choose the MRP because as I progressed along the course, and I did many other options, it became clearer to me that this is the aspect I wanted to focus on. And then, yeah, I just went for it. So I don't know what the school thinks about, some students, I know some students from the beginning, they had already mapped out what they wanted to do. But for me, I didn't do that until I had gone through some courses, and I now I was able to narrow my focus to, what I really wanted to do. And yeah, I think it worked well for me, and that's what I did.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And Kathy, how about you? What completion option have you chosen?
Well, as I said, it was a moving target. So when I started, I actually thought I was going to do this capstone because I wanted to take as many courses as possible. But after digging in a little bit, I realized that the thesis option is the route that I'd like to go, because it will allow me to do the deep dive on something that I really, really am quite passionate about, which is labor issues. So as much as I want to take every course because they're all so good, I did feel like the thesis option allowed me to focus a little bit more and really dig my heels into the topic. So yeah, that's the direction I'm going.
Right. Thank you very much. Yeah, and the interest area you mentioned, I was thinking about that to mass resignation, right? I think it's, that'll be a very interesting thesis area looking at the labor market. Thank you very much. Yeah. And I noticed that I think Deepak had a hand up. I don't know if Deepak is still there. If you'd like to turn on your mic and ask your question. I'm not sure. I think I just missed Deepak. I'm sorry about that, but please put your hand up again if you still have your question. Okay, so I'm just looking at the time here, everyone, and I think what we'll do is we'll continue with a little bit more information about the MA program. We have a few more slides to continue, and I'd like to thank our guests so much for joining this webinar. Very much appreciated. Thank you so much. So we've been talking about completion options for the MA, and so your completion option totals 18 credits of your program, and there are three choices. So you'll see on the left-hand side of this diagram here, there's the thesis is one option. The second option is a major research project, and a third option is to do a capstone course, which is essentially a course completion. So the thesis is worth 12 credits. And if you choose to undertake thesis research, you will have 2 additional elective courses that you can choose. And that will make up your 18 credits. And then there's a major research project, and that is assigned 9 credits. And then you have 3 elective courses that you can take. And then the capstone course is 3 credits. And then you, of course, looking at the math there, you'll have 5 elective course choices in addition to your capstone course. So those are the 3 completion pathways. And I just thought I'd share a couple of slides. These are MRP projects that have been completed recently. So Daniel Bernardes, he is a student in 2019. He completed his major research project looking at tourism adaptation amidst the COVID-19 pandemic. Another one here is a study completed by Deepa Sidami, and she looked at a study of the environmental impacts of cruise ships along the coastal areas of Vancouver Island. So she was looking at different stakeholder perceptions of the environmental impacts of cruising. So I just wanted to share those as a couple of examples to you of major research projects. And the other piece I'd like to share is that we do have what I mentioned earlier, those MATM specializations. So a specialization consists of two courses plus a focus on the specialization in a thesis or a major research project. So in other words, if you decide you want to take a specialization, for example, we have one in sustainable tourism, you would take a couple of courses that specialize in that, and you would also you'd be required to take an MRP or a thesis option and focus your research in that area. So it gives you an option to have a special focus for your studies, and you receive recognition of your specialization on your transcript at the end of the program. So here are the specializations. I mentioned sustainability. And on the right-hand side are the names of some of the courses that are part of that sustainability. So you'd have an option to take two out of the 3 courses listed there on that sustainability line. The other specialization is social entrepreneurship, and the bullet points are 2 courses that you would take for that specialization. And the third specialization is disaster and emergency management. So these specializations rest outside of our school of tourism and hospitality management. They're in other areas of the university, and so it gives you a chance to get exposure to the expertise, of other faculty in other schools at Royal Roads University that really specialize in these 3 areas. This is just a photograph of some of our faculty, kind of giving you some faces to the numbers and the names of the courses. So, I think that's always nice to see. Yeah, these individuals are, devoted to tourism and hospitality. They all have experience in the industry. They're all very dedicated researchers and instructors, and together they're the people that teach the program and bring all of their expertise to the table and to you as students. Now I'm going to turn it over to Amara. Thank you very much, everyone, and thanks again to our guests.
Thank you so much, Rebecca. I think this is a great time to use our reactions feature. If everybody wants to give them a round of applause, that was a great panel. It was so wonderful to hear our students' experience and hear firsthand from the faculty here at Royal Roads. So thank you. So now jumping into how to apply, because I have a feeling that many of you are probably wondering at this point how to apply to the program. So I wanted to first start and mention every piece of information that I'm going to go over today is listed on our website as well, too. So you can always follow along our website for the application requirements. So I'm going to start us off here. So we have both standard and flexible admissions at Royal Roads University, because we do understand that every single person in the room here today is coming from different backgrounds, different career experience, different potential post-secondary or no post-secondary experience. So we understand that, and that is really what makes our cohort so unique. So to start with, we have our standard admission. So what this looks like is completion of a 4-year or comparable undergraduate degree in a related field with a minimum GPA of a B from a recognized post-secondary institution, as well as at least 2 years of full-time work experience within the tourism or hospitality industry, And applicants who meet the degree requirement, but not the GPA requirement, will normally be required to take an academic writing and critical thinking course and obtain a minimum final grade of B. And our academic writing and critical thinking course, we have them starting all the time. So they're really easy to take that kind of course in advance if you need to. So here's our flexible admission. So this is for people that maybe the standard admission doesn't apply to them or doesn't work for them. Flexible admission applicants with no post-secondary education would normally require a minimum of 7 years of progressive work experience, with 3 years of which are in a leadership role, as well as applicants who have completed some post-secondary education but do not meet our 4-year degree requirement will be adjudicated on a case-by-case basis, with a greater emphasis placed on the quality and years of work experience. And I really want to stress that case by case. So we look at every single person here as an individual. So we will assess your application case by case. So if you have any questions about whether or not you're eligible for this program, don't hesitate to connect with us and ask those questions, because we can help you determine this is the right program, if this is the right fit for you, or if there's maybe a different program for you. So absolutely reach out. I know we've popped our contact information in the chat, so reach out to an enrollment advisor with those questions. Okay, so how to apply? You want to start off by going to our website. There's actually a really handy, helpful outline of how to apply, and my recommendation is to follow it and just kind of go through each bullet, each point. But how to apply, you want to start by creating an online account on our website. And when you create the online account, you'll pay a small fee of $128 and some change. And then you're going to start submitting supporting documents. And what those supporting documents look like are official transcripts. So what that means is any transcript from any post-secondary education sent to our institution in either a sealed envelope from the institution that you took the schooling at, or by email directly from the institution. In addition, a detailed resume. And the detailed resume is beyond what you would potentially submit for maybe a job application. Like, we really want to get to know you. We want to see your experience. We want to know what you've done in the past, any memberships or associations that you're part of, any volunteer work that you do. So detailed resume, we want the more details, the better. And now to my favorite part of the how to apply. And I recently actually applied for a program here at Royal Road. So this was actually my favorite part of the application, which was writing my personal statement and my statement of intent. And what this really is your why. It's your why of why are you applying to this program? And it really, when I wrote it, it helped me define my why and make me really understand the purpose of the program for me and what I was hoping to get out of it and what my career goals and where I wanted to go with it. So absolutely my favorite part. And then a little bit of a pro tip: if you write your personal statement or your statement of intent, which is the same thing, write it before you ask for your letters of reference, because that way, when you ask for your 2 letters of reference, you can share with those people you're asking your personal statement. So they can use that as well to understand your why. So when they're writing that letter of reference referring you to the program, they understand your why behind it. So that's how I did the application. And as I mentioned, we have a how to apply on the website, and it's a really handy tool to follow. So here are some upcoming intakes. We keep this information as well completely up to date, so you can check the program page. But if you're looking for the next on-campus intake, the intake starts April 11th, 2022, and the application deadline is February 9th, 2022. And I know that's coming up pretty soon here, but you can absolutely apply. And the on-campus for the next intake is August 15th, 2022, with an application deadline of May 15th, 2022. And if you're looking for the next online intake, that is going to start August 15th, 2022, with an application deadline of May 15th, 2022. And you don't have to wait for the application deadline to apply. You can apply right now, and we will have a look at your application. So don't hesitate, don't wait. If you're ready to apply now and get that information in. And I saw some questions in the chat earlier about scholarships and financial aid and what kind of availability we have. I highly recommend reaching out to our financial aid and awards specialists. They have so many resources and are trained to help you figure out what would be the best potential opportunity with a scholarship or award or a loan. So absolutely reach out. You can set up an appointment. We also have information on our website of all the different loans, awards, scholarships, and other funding available. So have a look. I'm pretty sure the link is in the chat there from earlier, and I'm sure somebody will pop that link in again. So check out financial aid. And as mentioned, enrollment services, we are here to support you. So if you have any questions whatsoever, please reach out. If you're within Canada and are a Canadian student, you want to reach out to learn.more@royalroads.ca. And if you're coming from abroad and are an international student, you want to reach out to learn.more.international@royalroads.ca. And I know we're coming to the end of the session today. Oh, and another fun tool we have now is you can connect with us on WhatsApp. You see the QR code there on the screen. So thank you. I know we're coming to the end of the session, but we still have about 5 more minutes. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen and I'm going to invite Rebecca up, and we're going to do our best to answer any questions that we have that came in through the chat, as well as if you'd like to verbally ask a question, use the raise hand tool, and I will then allow you to unmute. Hi, Rebecca. Wonderful.
Hi, that's great. I notice Aisha's here too, so that student perspective question as well, perhaps. Hi, Aisha.
So I haven't been monitoring the chat for the last 5 or so minutes, but a question that I did catch earlier is there a residency for the online course option? And if yes, how long and when, if the course starts in August of 2022?
Right, so there's no residency requirement for the online option. There is certainly an option if someone was taking the online option and decided, you know what, I'd really love to be at Royal Roads and be on campus for a course. That would absolutely be possible. So, you know, the online option it's a fully online option, but it doesn't remove the opportunity to be on campus should someone wish to have that experience. So I hope that answers the question. No residency, but a little bit of flexibility if you chose to take an on-campus course. That I think might be possible. Well, it would be possible. I see absolutely no reason why not. Yeah.
Awesome. So the next question is like, how competitive is the enrollment, say, for example, for the upcoming August intake?
Right. Well, we have a healthy enrollment. And so our courses, you know, our program is close to capacity. Every intake is a little bit different. It's not always exactly the same, but I would say competitive. It fills every intake, and we're looking for the students that we know are going to contribute highly and, you know, really succeed and obviously meet all the admission requirements. But we're interested to know about you in that letter of intent. You know, why would you like to take this program, and how does it fit with your future, and what can you give and what will you take, and you know, how will you contribute and what will you take away? You know, we're interested to know more about you in that letter. But yes, I think there are spaces, but we are close to capacity each intake.
And so I see, Keithy, and I see you raised your hand, so I'm going to ask you to unmute to ask your question verbally. Oh, there we go. Sorry, it should work now if you can unmute.
Are there any parameters for that personal or the statement of intent, like how long or anything of that sort that we need to be aware of when we apply?
Over to you, Amara, on that one. Yeah.
That's a great question. And as you could see, we quickly Googling the slide. So that information is on our website. Let me see here. I might be able to find a link quickly. I'm not very good at multitasking, but we do have all that information so you can see what is required. And let me see here.
Yeah. I know this guide, that's what Amara's looking up, but there's guidance on what to think about when writing that.
Totally.
Yeah.
I'm going to share my screen here. Can you see my screen and see my website that
Yes.
I'm looking at? So the application requirements. So this is kind of what I was mentioning, where you can just follow it really easily. Official transcript, personal statements. So the questions you'll see are things like, why do you wish to enroll in this program? What sector do you work in or wish to work in? And it looks like it should be 2 to 3 page essay addressing the following guiding questions. So as with everything, concise, to the point is always appreciated, because we're looking through many people's applications, but at the same time use the space that you need to complete that. So 2 to 3 pages. Does that answer your question? Awesome. Yeah. Great
question.
I
Thank you.
the guiding questions, it kind of reminds me of those journaling prompts where it's like, okay, like let me really define my why. Awesome. It's a great question. Oh, and we have another question in the chat. Could you please describe strategic planning course?
Oh, well, the strategic planning course, it's currently running, and the focus of that course, yes, it's strategic planning, but we have a live client. We have a client for that course. And so the students are learning all about the business. And I believe it's a Delta Hotel in Whistler. And so the focus of that strategic planning course is very hands-on and learning about strategy, but also helping a real organization review its strategic plan and provide recommendations for that business. So that's, you know, kind of a short summary from me on that course. But I know that it's very engaging and with a live client.
All right, and I think we have time for one more question here because we're coming up to the end of the hour. Apologies if I pronounce your name incorrectly. Taiwo, I see your hand is up, so I'm going to ask you to unmute and you can ask your question verbally. There we go, you should be able to speak.
The tuition fees, is it semester wise or yearly basis?
I'm so sorry, you're coming in really choppy. Can you try that again?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm asking about the school fees. Is the school fees paid semester wise or yearly basis?
Great, thank you. Yes, we got that. Thank you so much. You kind of was chopped up at the beginning, but now I understand. Thank you so much for your question. So, question about the school fees and the payment of those. Are they semester based or on an annual basis? How are those fees paid? Do you know that, Amara?
Yeah, and I'm just popping the information into the chat here.
Wonderful.
So we have a helpful tuition payment estimator. So I'm going to pop that in here, and I got to this right off of the main page. Here, I'm going to pop that link as well. At the bottom there, it shows you the different intakes, and then you can actually go to the program schedule and the payment schedule. So have a look there. And if you have any questions whatsoever about that, reach out to our enrollment team and they can help you navigate that. Awesome. So I see we're at the end of our session. This was so great to hear from so many different voices today. Rebecca, I wanted to ask you, do you have any final words for anybody in the room today? Any final words you'd like to share about the program or any words of advice?
No, I just wanted to say, you know, a big thank you to our guests, and that, you know, I do encourage everyone to really do your research, look at other programs, other universities, take a look at the programs and you know, make the right decision for you, right? There's the right program, the right university or college for everybody, right? And so I encourage you to, you know, really think about this decision and do your research and you know, I wish everyone the very, very best with your future plans, and if they bring you to Royal Roads in the Masters, the MA in Tourism Management, you know, we look forward to seeing you. Thank you. Thanks everyone so much.
Thank you. Take care.